Modern methods of construction (MMC) refer to the use of innovative techniques and technologies to build structures more efficiently and sustainably. MMC.
Interesting. Maybe this is what we need. Hi, help me to schedule an urgent meeting tomorrow morning.
Good morning, everyone. Yesterday I came across something called MC, which is Modern Methods of Construction. I believe that this could be a real game changer for us because it's changing the whole construction industry in the UK. It helped reduce the cost, lower the construction time, and align perfectly with our strategy. And to give you a clearer picture of what MC really is, I will invite my secretary Anne to give you a short summary about it. Please go ahead.
MMC, also known as modern method of construction, refers to innovative technique that improve building efficiency. It usually follows 7 key steps. Firstly, design for manufacture and assembly. Plan building line to design product for easier assembly. Secondly, outside production. Major part of building factory instead of outside. Thirdly, transportation. Spool the completed model to the site. Fourthly, outside assembly. Modules are connected quickly and it's reduce labor time. Fifthly, testing and quality check. Ensure each module meets safety and design standards. Next one is finishing and handover, complete interior and exterior work. And the last one is operation and maintenance, monitor long-term performance and energy efficiency. In short, MMC has saved time, reduced waste and construction on project, which fit perfectly with our company's sustainable goals.
Thanks, Anne. That was very clear. So what are your opinions?
Let me do it.
Okay.
I think it's quite promising. Shorter the construction time can lower the cost, but we need to consider the initial investment. Staff training and technology transfer is very expensive. We need to consider carefully.
From the production side, adopting energy would mean a big change in our process. The advantage is that we can control quality better and avoid weather-related delays. However, it might be challenging at first, but I think it is a good direction for long-term efficiency.
So that's all? Okay, good, very good. We will take all of it into account. So let's move forward with the market research. Okay, so marketing head, Jin, can you do the research of the global MC market, also the countries all leading in this industry and the potential partners that we can collaborate with? I want to see the full report after 3 days. Is that okay?
Understood, sir. I get it right away.
Welcome to London, ma'am. Even the weather came out to say hello.
So, it's not rumor. The sun here only works part-time.
Our meeting with Hill Group is tomorrow at 3 p.m. It's the tea time. And British time means 5 minutes early, not even 1 minute late.
Don't worry, I'll be there before feedback start ticking.
It's my pleasure to finally meet you in person, Miss Olivia.
Nice to meet you. You're very early, very professional.
I believe that timekeeping is a first form of respect.
Have a seat, please.
You too.
Oh, how are you finding London so far?
I think that my umbrella is working harder than I do.
It sounds like you've already become a true Londoner.
And it is something to thank you for taking time to meet us.
Huh?
Thank you. That's very kind. You
Okay, we understand you're interested in our MMC technology, but what exactly are you looking for?
We're interested in applying your technology in Vietnam construction sector, especially to modernize our module building process.
I see. So have you planned to implement it locally?
We're aiming to start with a pilot project in Vietnam. So with your technical support, we believe that we can reduce both construction time and carbon emissions significantly.
Okay, good discussion. Let's schedule a follow-up meeting to review our possible terms and support options.
Thank you. We truly appreciate your consideration and look forward to working together. Good morning, everyone. Today we report on our trip to Hill Group in the UK, analyze the legal and political differences, and finalize our strategy for the MMC technology transfer negotiation next week. After a London trip, they show great interest in the Vietnamese market and are ready to transfer their module construction system. However, there are still 5 key issues we need to identify: the scope of technology, intellectual property, cost, training, and finally, timeline. Our goal today is to align our internal strategy, so we enter the negotiation from a position of strength. Let's have Secretary give us a briefing on our recent visit to the Hill Group in the UK.
The Hill Group is highly professional. Meetings start exactly at 9 a.m. and they never talk in circles. They were impressed by our 50,000 unit social housing project and are open to cooperation. However, they require absolute transparency and full compliance with the UK regulation. We will proceed with the negotiation, but we must prepare thoroughly for some key issues. Regarding to cultural aspect, the respect apply and indirect. For example, if they say, that's an interesting price, it usually means that that's too expensive. They highly value punctuality, fact, and logic. Like humor is acceptable, but casual response to be avoided. On the legal side, under the UK Bribery Act, any meal above £50 must be declared, so expensive is to be avoided. For intellectual property protection, no design modification are allowed without written approval from the London HQ, and there are no TUPE or GDPR constraints for us, since this transfer does not involve personal data.
Good morning, Olivia. Welcome you to Vietnam. Please take a seat. We really appreciate your time and interest in Vietnam's construction sector.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here finally. Hill Group has heard a lot about Vietnam's rapid urban growth. It's impressive.
We're striving for sustainable development, and we believe that MMC will be an important step in that direction.
That's aligned perfectly with Hill Group's vision, building faster, smarter, and greener. And may I say, the hospitality here is as warm as your weather.
I hope that the coffee you have today matches that warmth too. But I have to say that it will be much more stronger than the one you got in London.
I might take a few cups. British weather doesn't usually prepare me for this energy.
Before we begin, shall we start to confirm the agenda? I suggest that we should start with the scope of MMC technology transfer, followed by the licensing and IP protection, training and adaptation, cost and payment terms, and finally, legal and compliance matters.
That's not organized and effective, just a British way.
And we try to not make it too formal. We're here for cooperation, not for paperwork, right?
Let me begin with Hill Group's offer. We can provide our MMC modular system, full design software, and on-site training in Cambridge. The total package is valued at £2 million, with a 5% royalty applied to each project that utilizes our system.
Thank you, Olivia. We appreciate the thorough proposal. However, £2 million is excessive of Vietnam's current market capacity. We should consider £1.9 million. That's already stretching our internal ceiling, and a 3% royalty fee. Also, we like the training to be done in Vietnam, not Cambridge. Sending staff overseas triples our costs and limits participation.
£2 million isn't just a figure on paper. It represents years of innovation, testing, and certification under UK standards. A reduction even 5% undermines the value of technology itself.
We respect Olivia. Technology value means little if it can penetrate the market. We're not questioning your R&D, but questioning whether £2 million entry makes any commercial sense here. If adoption fails because of high cost,
no royalties, no market expansion, no brand visibility. Everyone loses.
That's a bold statement. You're asking us to compromise not just on price, but on principle. How do we know this future expansion you're promising isn't just a speculation?
Because of Vietnamese government's urban housing program is scaling rapidly, we're offering you a gateway, not a gamble. A small cut now secures market access before your competitors moving. If Hill Group insists on keeping the full price, then we need additional benefits to justify the cost.
Additional benefits? What exactly are you asking for?
If £2 million stands, then we expect, first, training conducted in Vietnam for at least 20 of our engineers. 2. Free technical support for the first 12 months. 3. Exclusive distribution rights to the MMC system in Vietnam for the next 2 years. That's a fair exchange for maintaining your price point.
Those are substantial requests. You're asking for exclusivity and extended support. It's not a small concession.
Nor is holding the full £2 million. If we're paying the premium, we need guarantees that ensure long-term value, not just one-time delivery.
Understood. Let's take this proposal back to our board. The structure is worth considering.
Excellent. Then we're moving in the right direction.
Before we move on, there's still one important issue we need to clarify. That is legal and compliance costs. UK legal consultants are notoriously expensive, but to do this project scale, these costs are unavoidable. So would Hill Group be willing to share those initial expenses?
That's an interesting point, Emily. Not something we usually include, but I'm open to hearing your rationale. Hill Group traditionally handles its own legal fees. Why should this deal be any different?
Because this isn't a traditional deal. We're not talking about a single domestic contract. This project spans 2 jurisdictions with 2 different compliance frameworks and involves cross-border risk exposure. If one side bears all the legal weight, that's not a partnership. That's an imbalance. We believe it's only fair to split the cost evenly, 50-50.
50-50? That's quite a statement. I admire your confidence, but you have to admit that sounds ambitious. Hill Group's legal infrastructure is far more extensive than yours. We're the one ensuring safety certifications, IP protection, and compliance with EU construction standards. If anything, our side carries a heavier load. Maybe 70-30 would be more realistic. Hill Group covering 30%. After all, this proposal was initiated from your side, isn't it?
Yes, we initiated the conversation, but not the complexity. The compliance layer is 6 because your technology involves UK origin patent, modular safety protocols, and European building codes. A 50-50 reflects equal stakes, equal accountability, and frankly, mutual protection.
You make a strong case. Still, a flat 50-50 is hard to justify on paper. We can't present to our board that we're absorbing as much legal cost as a client. It would raise red flags with our auditors. What I can offer is 60-40. Hill Group takes 40%. That's a stretch from our usual model, but it shows good faith without undermining our internal governance.
60-40. That's a fair midpoint. Transparency builds trust, and trust builds partnership. If we both walk away feeling the pain equally, then we're both invested in making this point succeed. Let's move forward on that basis.
Agreed. I appreciate the way you frame it, pragmatic but firm. Let's note 60-40 as a principle of shared responsibility, then move on to the next clause. On intellectual property, we must insist that no modification whatsoever be made to our software or system design without written approval from London headquarters. This isn't negotiable. It's about safety and brand integrity.
I understand your concerns, but our local building codes aren't optional either. We must adapt to Vietnam's tropical climate. If we simply code your design, it might fail certification.
With all due respect, Emily, every time a system is adapted, we've seen a performance drop. We can't afford our technology's reputation being put at risk because of uncontrolled changes.
Then, are you saying we should violate our own national standards just to protect your brand? That's not feasible.
No. I'm saying our design should defy the standards, not be re-engineer external contractors. Once you change the parameters, it's no longer our system.
Look, Olivia, we both want the same thing, a safe, high-performing system that meets local conditions and keeps your brand intact. What if we form a joint technical committee?
That could work. It keeps oversight centralized but allows for control flexibility. We need detailed reporting and testing protocols.
Agreed. Transparency for you, autonomy for us. A shared system of trust. That's what a long-term cooperation looks like.
Fair enough. Let's make the foundation of our partnership.
Olivia, we've been discussing for a while. How about taking a short tea break?
Okay, that sounds perfect. Back home, we'd call this a well-deserved cup of tea. I didn't expect negotiations to feel this much like a marathon.
In Vietnam, we say good deals need good energy, so of course good coffee. A Vietnamese cup of coffee always brings back your energy after a tough discussion.
Interesting. In the UK, we are most the opposite. We aim to finish before the tea gets cold. I suppose that a British obsession with punctuality again.
Well, here, time is flexible, as long as we build a good connection. So, how do you take your tea? Milk or sugar first? Very strong. We say keeps you awake for both business and life. So you should try cà phê sữa đá. It's sweet, but with a kick.
I'll take that challenge.
Now, regarding training, Huber's standard procedure is to host all core sessions in Cambridge. That way, your engineers can directly observe how MMC production lines operate, from module testing to quality assurance.
I completely see the value in that. However, sending a full team to UK for several months would be extremely costly. We also need continuity in our domestic operation. Would it be possible to conduct part of the training here in Vietnam?
The challenge is that certain MMC technologies, especially our automatic assembly system, involve proprietary designs. We usually don't allow full demonstration outside the UK for security reasons.
I understand the need for confidentiality, Olivia, but without hands-on experience on our own soil, our engineer can fully internalize the process. Technology transfer isn't just about theory, it's about replication and mastery. If we only observe from Cambridge, we never reach the level of independence we aim for. Here's what we suggest. We send a core team to 5 top engineers to Cambridge for intensive training under your full supervision. Once they complete the program, we propose the implementation phase to take place in Da Nang, where your expert can directly oversee the local adaptation. That structure allows us to maintain confidentiality while assuring genuine skill transfer.
That's an unusual structure, Emily. Normally, we prefer to keep all training in-house for obvious reasons. But your logic makes sense. Still, our headquarters will insist on strong oversight. How would you ensure data security during the on-site phase?
We'll fully comply with your confidentiality framework. All digital models and technical documents can remain under your system. We operate through restricted cloud access that you control. In return, we expect your specialists to spend at least 2 weeks in Da Nang, long enough to help us adapt the modules to local materials, humidity, and temperature standards. That's how both sides get what they need. You keep control and we gain capability.
That's a well-balanced arrangement. You've managed to protect our interests while pushing for your own. That's not easy, Emily. Alright, let's document this framework as part of the technology transfer protocol.
Thank you, Olivia. That's the kind of partnership we aim for. Firm boundaries, but shared progress. Olivia, I think we've covered the technical and financial parts quite well. Let's talk about our shared goal, sustainability.
Absolutely. Hill Group is deeply committed to low-carbon, sustainable construction. Vietnam's green development strategy fits perfectly with what we do.
And let's begin with the pilot project, a modular housing complex in Da Nang focused on affordable, eco-friendly homes.
That sounds promising. Hill Group will provide design guidance and supervision for the first phase.
And we handle local permits and construction logistics. Together, we'll make this model for the region.
Agreed. Let's make it happen. So, to summarize, total value £2 million, 3% royalty, hybrid training program, joint technical committee, and shared legal cost 60% Vietnam,
40% Hill Group.
That's correct, and our pilot project in Danang will serve as a foundation for future collaboration.
Excellent. This agreement represents more than just business. It's a partnership built on mutual respect and shared goals.
Indeed, we appreciate your professionalism and openness, Olivia.
And I must say, your negotiation style is impressive, polite but persuasive.
Years of practice with contractors, I suppose?
Then we're in good company. Shall we call it a deal?
Deal. And don't forget, coffee sunset next time.